Prajajanaranjana Yasodanandana Bhajajanaranjana Yamuna Tirabanachari Yamuna Tirabanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Gopi Jana Balaba Grivarada Hari Jaya Gopi Gopi Jana Balaba Grivarada Hari Jaya Gopi Yasodanandana Bhajajanaranjana Yasodanandana Bhajajanaranjana Yamuna Tirabanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tirabanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabiyari Jaya Jai Radha Madhava. Jaya Vishnupāda Paramahansa Parivrakaracharya Sutra śruti-mat. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jaya Vishnupāda Paramahansa Parivrakaracharya Sutra śruti-mat. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. ISKCON Founder Srila Prabhupada ki. Sri Krishna Balaram ki, Sri Radha Sundar ki, Sintai Gaurachandra ki. Hare Krishna. Gurave Gurakachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tabhaktayo Namo Namaha Ajnanatimandasya Gananganan Salakaya Chaksusumalitayena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitayena Bhutale Swayamrupakadama Yandadati Sapadantikan Bandeham Sri Guru Sritam Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavijamscha Sri Rupam Sakajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitantan Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanan Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Parasahagana Lalita Sri Vishakavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavani Niswari Vrishabhanasuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapatarubhyascha Kripasundibhyevacha Patitanam Pavanabhebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namamo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nebisesa Sunyavadi Pashtadeshtis Deshatarine Vasudevaya Sutam Vande Kansa Chandramadanam Devaki Paramananda Krishna Vande Jagaguru Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I thank everyone for being here this evening for the Bhagavad-gītā class, and also to those who are watching from Vrindavan television, TV. So we are in the chapter 13, which is the nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. So in this chapter, Lord Krishna is describing the field, which is Ketra Gyan, the knower of the field, and then the interaction, the consciousness that is there. There is the knower of the field, and there is there's the individual Ketra Gyan, and there's the supreme, the one who knows all other bodies. So this is a very good explanation by which we can understand the material nature. So we just read this today. We are text number 14. So we chant text 14 first, and then 14. Yeah, text 14, right? Yeah, okay. So we chant together. Okay. Sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tā sarvato kṣi-śiro-mukham sarvataḥ śruti-mal loke sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tā sarvato kṣi-śiro-mukham sarvataḥ śrutimal loke sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tā sarvato kṣi-śiro-mukham sarvataḥ śrutimal loke sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati. Sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati. Sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat. Sarvataḥ śrutimal loke. sarvataḥ, everywhere, pāṇi, hands, pādam, legs, tat, that, sarvataḥ, everywhere, akṣi, eyes, śiraḥ, heads, mukham, faces, sarvataḥ, everywhere, śruti-mat, having ears, loke, in the world, sarvam, everything, āvṛtya, covering, tiṣṭhati, exists. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Everywhere are His hands and legs, His eyes, heads, and faces. And He has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. Purport. As the sun exists, diffusing its unlimited rays, so does the Supersoul, or Supreme Personality of Godhead. He exists in all his all-pervading form, and in Him exist all the individual living entities, beginning from the first great teacher, Brahma, down to the small ants. There are unlimited heads, legs, hands, and eyes, and unlimited living entities. All are existing in and on the Supersoul. Therefore, the Supersoul is all-pervading. The individual soul, however, cannot say that he has his hands, legs, and eyes everywhere. That is not possible. If he thinks that under ignorance he is not conscious that his hands and legs are diffused all over, but when he attains to proper knowledge, he will come to that stage. His thinking is contradictory. This means that the individual soul, having become conditioned by material nature, is not supreme. The supreme is different from the individual soul. The Supreme Lord can extend His hand without limits. The individual soul cannot. In Bhagavad-gītā, the Lord says that if anyone offers Him a flower or a fruit or a little water, He accepts it. If the Lord is a far distance away, how can He accept things? This is the omnipotence of the Lord. Even though He is situated in His own abode, far, far away from earth, He can extend His hands to accept what anyone offers. That is His potency. In Brahmā-saṁhitā, it is stated, goloka eva nivashati akhilātma-bhūtaḥ. Although He is always engaged in pastimes in His transcendental planet, He is all-pervading. The individual soul cannot claim that He is all-pervading. Therefore, this verse describes the Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead, not the individual soul. So this is very, very important to understand that there's always a big difference between the Supreme Being and the living entity. It specifically mentioned this verse, sarvataḥ, pāṇi-pādaṁ, sarvato, kṣi-śiro-mukham, sarvataḥ, śrutimal, loke, sarvam, āvṛtya, tiṣṭhati. So it's sarvataḥ everywhere, every place. His eyes is there everywhere. His legs is there everywhere. And this is also in the statement of the Vedas, where it says apāṇi-pādaṁ, the Vedas say apāṇi-pādaṁ, that he has no leg, but he walks everywhere. He's everywhere. So how can somebody, when they say that, especially to refute the impersonalist understanding, who said that the Absolute has no form, that he has no form, is impersonal, nobody. But if he has no form, how can the Vedas say that his arms are everywhere, his legs are everywhere, if he has no form? So, for someone to have leg and arms everywhere, which means he must have a form. So this is what the Bhagavad-gītā is saying here. Lord Krishna himself, he is saying here. He said everywhere are his arms, his legs, his heads, his eyes, everything. Kṣi-śiro-mukham. The eyes, the head, the mouth, everywhere. For example, the Lord may be anywhere, but when his devotees, when they offer him something, no matter where he is, the Lord comes and accepts the offering. Just like there are devotees all over the world. Devotees are all over the world. And all over the world, devotees, they are making offering for the Lord. They are making offering. And it doesn't matter where the Lord is. The devotees are making offering all over the world, but the Lord accepts the offering of the devotees from all over the world. So which means his mouth is everywhere, his head, everything is everywhere. It doesn't matter, where someone is. Just like they say that the eyes of God is on you. So which means don't think that anything can be hidden. The eye of God is always on everyone. It's always on us. But we are not God, so our eyes is not everywhere. Now, that is in one of the Vedic statement, which is said to be one of the Mahakavyas, the great saints, that is sarvakalom idam Brahma, that everything is Brahma. Brahma means spirit. Sarvakalom idam Brahma, that everything is spirit. Now, just because the statement that says everything is spirit, it doesn't mean that every living entity is also Supreme Brahman. The difference is there. The difference is there. Everything, yes, everything is spirit, because everything is made up of the Lord's energy. Everything's made up. It said that what is that? Parasha Shakti Vividha Vasoyate, Natasha Tasha Karanacha Vidyate, Natasha Kaya Karanacha Vidyate. Anyway, that everything is there. Everything is functioning according to the energy of the Lord. So the Lord, everything is functioning to his energy, but at the same time, he has got a personal form. So this is what because sometimes if you want to read this chapter from the impersonal understanding, so one will conclude that yes, the absolute truth is everywhere. So therefore, everyone is of the same absolute being. Everyone is that everything is the same. That basically we are God. Basically, that we are God. We are the same as God. But one of the characteristics of God is that He's all-knowing. He knows everything. He's sarvagyan. He's the knower of everything. But we as individual soul, we are not the knower of everything. The difference between anu, small, and vibhu, big, there's a big difference. I can know what is going on in my body, even that also to a very, very limited degree. But the Supreme Lord, He knows what is going on in the body of everyone. Because the Lord is there as the Paramatma, and Paramatma is spread everywhere. So this is what, this knowledge is what's been emphasized from this from these last 6 chapters of the Bhagavad-gītā. As we said before, that the Bhagavad-gītā, it has 3 sections, 18 chapters, which are divided into 3 sections. One section dealing with karma, which is from chapter 1 to 6, is dealing with the subject of karma. And then the middle section, the middle 6 chapters, the chapter 7 to 12, that is dealing with bhakti, the subject of bhakti. And then the last 6 chapters, chapter 13 to 18, is dealing with the subject of gyan, knowledge. So you have karma, gyan, and bhakti. So bhakti is in the middle of it's in the middle of the Bhagavad-gītā. It's kept in the middle because bhakti being the most confidential topics. So the confidential topic is always kept hidden somewhere. Only those with knowledge can actually find it out. But these last 6 chapters, from chapters 13 to 18, this is the topic of Gyan, whereby the Vedic scriptures, they're summarized. For example, the Upanishads. Actually, the Gita itself is called Gita Upanishad. It's one of the Upanishads, the Bhagavad-gītā. So the Bhagavad-gītā itself is considered to be Gita Upanishad. However, the Bhagavad-gītā is said to be the summary of all Vedic scriptures. The summary of all Vedic science is there in the Bhagavad-gītā. So which means if one study Bhagavad-gītā and understand it thoroughly, study Bhagavad-gītā under the direction of a spiritual master, then one will understand all the Vedic scriptures. One will understand the full Vedic scriptures just by understanding Bhagavad-gītā, because Bhagavad-gītā is coming from the mouth of the Lord. So it's mentioned that Sarvapanisado Gavo, Dugdang Gopalanandana, Patovasa Sudi Bhokta, Dugdang Gita Amitam Mahat. This text, Gita Mahatmya, which actually composed by Sankaracharya himself. So he said that this Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad-gītā, is the essence of the Upanishad. Sarvapanisado Gavo. the essence of the Upanishad is just like a cow. So Bhagavad-gītā is compared to a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking the cow, Gopal Nandana. And Arjuna, Vatsa, is the calf. So Arjuna is the calf, is the Vatsa. And then when the Gopal, the cowherd, when he's making the cow, and then normally the cow gives milk if the calf is there in front. So the maker, the cowherd, is making the cow while the calf is in front. So the milk is coming down. The milk is coming down. Now, who is drinking this milk? Somebody have to, just like when you go to Goshala, you make the cow and then you drink the milk. So who is drinking this milk which is coming from the answer of Lord Krishna, who is squeezing out this cow of the Upanishad? The drinker is called Dugdhan Gita-mitam Mahat. So this milk is the Gita Amrita, the nectar of Bhagavad-gītā, is being drunk by the devotees. The devotees. So which means devotees, they relish this nectar of the Bhagavad-gītā. They relish it. Because Krishna is speaking. We say that Krishna Vantajaga Guru. That Krishna is speaking, so devotees, they relish it. They are drinking it. Because by such nectarian tongues coming from the Gita, a person will realize everything. Everything will be realized. So therefore, and just like in the beginning, when Arjuna was telling Krishna that I don't know what to do, I don't know what's my duty, so I'm completely confused. So therefore, Arjuna says, Sishyasteham. So therefore, I submit myself to you as a disciple. I am your disciple. Sishyasteham. I'm your disciple. So instruct me. Because when we are devoid of knowledge, we approach the Guru, and then the Guru gives instruction. So the eyes, which has been darkened, again, Timendasya, with darkened of ignorance, but Anjana, whereby the Guru, he came and pulled the ointment of knowledge, sprayed over our eye, by giving us this instruction. So, and then the eye is open. So when the eye is open, then you can see. If the eye is not open, how can you see? But sometimes, actually all the time, because of our ignorance, due to false ego, so we think that we can see, our eyes open, we know everything. That's what we think. But in reality, we don't. Just like the bird, the owl. The owl has got a big eye, but in the daylight, even though he has got a big eye, but in the daylight, the owl cannot see. It's darkness, cannot see, even though the eye is wide open. So, in this material world, we are like that. We are completely covered. As I mentioned, āvṛtya. āvṛtya means to be covered. āvṛtya. Covering. So we are covered by the Maya potency. We are covered. But when we are, when a self-realized person give us spiritual instruction by giving us what is our sambandha in terms of what is our identity, what is our relationship, who are we, what is our connection, how are we related to God. So when we get that knowledge, then our eyes open. And then when the eyes open, we can understand that, yes, I am not a... sorry for my voice, I'm having some cold. So that we are limited entities, we are limited spiritual beings. We are spiritual being that is not subject to birth or death, but at the same time, we have limitation. And there's always a difference between us and the Supreme Lord. The big difference is there. You know, here Krishna says, sarvataḥ, pāṇi-pādaṁ, yeah, sarvato, kṣi-śiro-mukham, that his eyes, his head, his leg is everywhere. But our head is not everywhere. Our eyes is not everywhere. We cannot say that our hand is everywhere. That's not possible. That's just the reality. And it's that reality that we have to accept. You know, it's mentioned that when Lord Krishna, when he was performing his Raslila pastimes here in Vrindavan, along with so many gopis of Vrindavan, it was stated there are millions and millions of gopis that assembled in the Raslila arena to come and dance with Krishna. There are millions and millions of gopis, so many of them, not just one. But there was only one Krishna. Now, how is it possible for one Krishna to have to dance with millions and millions of gopis at the same time? But he is the Supreme. He has unlimited opulence. So, Krishna is simply, manifests himself unlimitedly. He manifests himself unlimitedly in the beside every single gopis. Krishna became unlimited Krishna, and he is with every single gopis. And each gopi is thinking that Krishna is only with me. You can see. Every gopi is thinking that Krishna is only with me only. Even though it's like that with every single gopi, millions and millions of them, but each one is thinking that, oh, Krishna is only with me. That's why sarvataḥ, everywhere, pāṇi-pādaṁ, sarvato, everywhere, his hand, his leg is everywhere. This is one of his unlimited potency. The Lord can be everywhere. Srila Prabhupada quoted a verse from the Brahmā-saṁhitā here, where we say, goloka eva nivashata akhilātma-bhūtaḥ govindamadi-puruṣam tamaham bhajami. That even though Krishna is there eternally in Goloka Vrindavan, he's there. Goloka Vrindavan, which is above both material and spiritual world. But at the same time, every time a devotee chants his name, Krishna immediately becomes present. Krishna is there immediately on the mouth of his devotees. Whenever his devotees is chanting his name. Even though he's there in Goloka Vrindavan only, but at the same time he's there also when someone chants his name. Now, this cannot be said of the just ordinary living entity. So, we have to accept the fact that we are not everywhere. We are not everything. We are just individual living entity. who has very limited capacity. So we have to accept it. So that's one of the qualifications of a devotee. A devotee understand his identity. You know that yes, he is just an individual soul who is simply Krishna Das, who is simply Krishna's servant. So a devotee is not this. But impersonalists, non-devotees, they don't know this. And because of false ego, they think that, yes, I know everything. And the reason why I don't know everything now is because I was covered by ignorance. Covered by ignorance. And when this covering is removed, again, I will know everything. I will become the Bhagavan, the Supreme, so that everything I can see, everything. Anyway, this is just the talks of a mad person normally, because when someone is mad, we talk all kind of nonsense. When somebody is crazy, a mad person, a crazy person, we speak all kind of nonsense. So people that think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, to be the Supreme, so they are simply nonsense. And then they will say, okay, I am Supreme, and I'm God, and you also, you can become God. They will be preaching that yes, I am God, you also can become God. I'll just take some mantra. Take some mantra from me. Because this mantra is not free, you have to pay for it. You take some mantra from me, and then once you chant this mantra, you will realize that, you are God. So if you take the mantra, you are chanting the mantra, you are meditating, so I am this, I am that, And after a long period of time, you could say that, why am I not becoming God? I thought I can become God. Why am I not becoming God? And then you become frustrated. Because, I thought I'm supposed to be God. But you're not becoming God. This is this you find everywhere. This you find everywhere. So, but Krishna is saying that Supreme Lord is in everything. Everything is in Him. Everything is in Him. He's also in everything. All living entities, because it's in Him, because everything is made up of His energy. When we say sarvakalomidam Brahma, simply means that everything consists of His energy. That's what it means. Everything is made of energy. So everything is in Him. He's in everything because He's there as Paramatma in the heart of every living entity as a Paramatma. So He's in everything, and everything is in Him. There's a whole universal body of the Lord. Just in the chapter 11, we studied the Vishwaru, the universal form that we study, chapter 11. So everything, the whole material energy creation, also they exist within the body of the Supreme Lord, within His universal form, which is also an expansion of His. When Lord Brahma, when he was manifested from the abdomen of the Lord, he came from the lotus. He came from the lotus. And then, when he was born from the lotus, somehow Brahma could not find the origin of his existence. So he has to come down from the top of the lotus flower, trying to find out, but still he could not. Then eventually, by the mercy of the Lord, he was able to find the basis of existence, where it comes from. Adelo Brahma, after the guidance from the Lord. So, within the body of the Lord with its stem, lotus that came from the body of the Lord, within this lotus, the whole universe was created. Everything was situated within that. So, everything is within the body of the Lord, but at the same time, it can be situated as a person somewhere. Even though it's everywhere, everything is in him, but at the same time, with his devotees, he can have a personal, one-to-one relationship with his devotees. He can have a personal one-to-one relationship with them. That's how great God is. He can be everywhere, but he can also be personal. And that's what God is. Just like the great devotee, Brahmā-saṁhitā, when he was coming to Vrindavan. So as he was coming, he was a blind person. He was blind. But he was a very, dear devotee of Krishna. But as he was coming, Krishna himself took his hand, and Krishna was guiding him to Vrindavan. So Krishna was guiding him to Vrindavan. Krishna was guiding him. He had his cane. Brahmā has a cane, and Krishna hold the other end of the cane, and he was leading him to Vrindavan, taking him around Vrindavan. And then one time there was a play. There was a play between. So Krishna was having a play with Brahmā. He was having a fun with him, and then Krishna somehow he took his hand from the hands of Brahmā. He took his hand off. So, of course, Brahmā, being a great devotee, he said, well, Krishna, you may take your hands off me, try to run away, but you can never get away from my heart. You can never get away from my heart, because Krishna is there in the heart. He's always there in the heart of his devotee. He said, but you cannot get away from my heart. So how can you run away? So this is very, very, very important verse, whereby the Lord says, sarvato, pāṇi-pādaṁ, sarvato, kṣi-śiro-mukham. The eyes, the head, the mouth, everything is everywhere. So this is one of the greatness of God. It's one of his greatness. It's everywhere at the same time. And at the same time, it's also personal. He can do different things at different times. When Narada-Muni, when he went to Dwarka, and that time Krishna was a big grihasta. Krishna had married 16,108 wives. So Narada-Muni was very curious. He wanted to find out how Krishna is managing with all his different wives, different palaces. So he was curious. So Narada-Muni, he was going from palace to palace. So when he went to one palace, he saw that Krishna was having some meetings with some, with some members of Yadu dynasty. And then he went to another palace. He saw that Krishna was making a marriage arrangement with one of his sons. And then he went to another palace. So in every palace that Narada-Muni was going, Krishna was doing different things. Normally the yogis who are able to expand themselves, the yogis, they can expand themselves. The yogis, when they expand themselves, they can maybe up to 10 or 20. But they do everything all the same time, which means as they move their hand, all the 20 forms, They all moving their hand. They all doing the same thing at the same time. But when Krishna becomes many, they all doing different things. Doing different things. That's the difference between God and the ordinary living entities. That's the difference. He's able to expand himself unlimitedly and do unlimited different things at the same times. So that is God. So because I have another class at 7 o'clock, so I have to stop here. I have a class at 7 p.m. So thank you very much for listening. And my voice, I think, is having some problem. I'm having some cold, so you have to excuse me. So thank you very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.